Hello. Right, so it turns out that my childhood trains were not disposed of when my parents moved out of the family home as I had feared, but were actually boxed up and taken with them. Now, I only found out about that the other day, and yeah, it's time to have an unbox. Right, so get that one out of the way. I say unbox. It's it's less of an unboxing and more of an unpacking. So I do obviously have some idea as to what's going to be in here. There's certainly things that I remember, and then there's things maybe that I've forgotten about. But we shall go through. And straight away, I'm looking at this one on this first one. Um, bit dusty. Right, here we go. Number one. A rather dirty. Is it dirty? It looks a bit. Can I move the camera across? I don't really want to be bashing it. That looks a bit easier. So yes, we have just it's upside down in its box. But we have a little 040 tank engine from the Ford company, which I believe I got at the same time as I got a car carrier. Hornby did a little car carrier, and you had a loading ramp, so you could drive them on and off. And at the time, lived just down the road from the Ford plant at Dagenham in Essex. So obviously there's some sort of connection there. And I believe that's what it comes from. I would imagine it was purchased for me by my grandmother, as obviously there was effectively three sources for my trains when I was a kid. My parents as gifts. Well, I think my grandmother as gifts, who was my paternal grandmother, and then anything that I would maybe pick up with some pocket money, but the vast majority of it was from gifting. And I'm assuming that this is from my grandmother because I did see on the end the price label is still there. So yeah. So it's an R163. I don't know, and apparently not suitable for 01. Presumably, because 01 was Hornby's multiple trains on it, like a bit like a DCC system, wasn't it? And presumably it just doesn't have room in it for connecting the chip inside. But as I say, with the price there, a whole £8.30 from Gamley's, which was a toy shop that opened a branch in the local town, in the shopping centre in the local town. It was there a fair while, but of course, I mean, all these sorts of things are completely past now. We are going to quickly pop it open, partly to take a look, but also because I want to put it back in the box the right way round. So, and you have to forgive me, I'm not quite in the right place for all this. So say it's gone right. I can't tell if it's dirty or just yellowed, because it would originally have been white, like just maybe slightly off white. But it does. I don't know what. There is something down inside there. I don't really want to get it all open to have a look. But yeah, I remember these things used to go like rockets. You can just about see the motor up above this wheel inside the body, and that's correct. Got just the worm on it, which is directly connected to. I think it's directly connected to the. Yeah, because that gear here, that looks like a skew cut. So yeah, so the worm would be directly connected to the wheels. And with the wheels, and that's not a particularly large gear, so it's not going to be a large number of turns. Little pocket rockets, these things were. It used to go like stink. I'm pretty sure, because I think there was another 040 I had, and I think one of them was actually the fastest locomotive I owned. So, right, what have we got? Let's do this one. I can't see what this is. Right, we have ourselves a intercity sleeper coach. Now, I don't have any memories of this. Again, it's another one from Gamley's, £3.50. So I mean we are going back a long way. Let's be honest, we are going back a long way. But yeah, £8.50 for a loco, £3.50 for a coach. Yeah, I don't. Oh, the box is starting to come apart at the top there. I don't know whether that's cutting or just from things. So yeah, so an R420. Oops, get it back in shot. There we go. And reduced from £4.70. So what's that? £1.20 off. Yeah. I have a feeling this may have been acquired with the intent of pairing it with a Class 37 loco as the basis for like say a night train. But I really don't have much memory of this. It looks a pretty decent nick. I mean, it should be. The wheels on the loco were quite dirty, but because I don't remember this, I'm assuming it was barely, if ever, run. So if we have a look underneath, yeah, I mean the wheels there are all nice and shiny, no traces of dirt on them. Very little, if any, dust on it at all. There's a little mark just up this end here by it, but it is missing. It is missing the hook from the tension lock on the end. So, don't know about that one. Right, that is what I was worried about with the camera being there. I wanted it more sort of this way, and then can we do that? There we go. You'll have to have a look at an angle, and then I'll show it. So yes, a coach I don't particularly remember, but here is a coach I do remember. We're gonna step away from Hornby. We have ourselves an Airfix coach. Now, Airfix only did model railways as ready to run stuff for a relatively short period. I think it was only about 6 or 7 years that they bothered with it. And I have a feeling this was one of their earlier offerings. It's just there we go, just a B-set coach. But this would have been something. Hey, it's still got the little window in. This would have been one of the earlier things that I had. My first train set was an Airfix one. I don't. And like many people, there wasn't really any real rhyme or reason to the items that I acquired. Some of it is. Some of it's sort of designed to be run as a cohesive train, but a lot of it was just, I like it, I'll have it. So the first set I got it was a large prairie, but it was in BR black, so it had the what would that have been? Probably I don't know if it was an early crest or a late crest. I'm afraid I don't know these sorts of things. So the coach would it fit with a large prairie? I don't know. I would have thought a large prairie would have been a bit chunky to run with a B set. But that's probably why I've got this one. It sort of fits the loco that I would have first had, and the train set that I got was actually a freight one, so I didn't have any coaches, which is, this probably came very quickly with very quickly after the train set, just so that I had a variety of stuff to play with. Right, moving on. What have we got next? Right. We have ourselves a box in a box. There's another box from a box here as well. There's that one too. I don't know what the label says. I think it's just yeah. It's an old shoe box. Anyway, right, let's do this one first then, shall we? What have we got? We've got some buildings. This looks like it's the station. Although I've got two canopies. So one of these canopies is going to be... which way round does it go? That way. Yeah, so they would hook under. Is this the Hornby Country Station? I can't remember what the names were. There's certainly some windows are missing. Oops. Because if I'm remembering, these little plastic bits, you got a sheet of them. It's basically printed acrylic sheet, and then you'd cut them out, pair of scissors, and it looks like the roof was just push fitted, and then you'd oh, there we go. There's a window. You would, I think, probably using Pritt stick or something, some other like glue stick was the intended method of application. But yeah, you'd cut them out. It had printed window frames on, then you'd stick them in place. So there is still one window missing. They're all in at the front. That end's on. The back's all in, but oops. There we are. This end is missing. We've got the beginnings of some chimneys just on the top, but we need, what have we got? So, set of platforms that's snapped off. Yeah, I don't know. Do they still do the same system? This one must be the one that goes with... Yeah, I like looking at the glue. I've got... that must be the one that goes on here. Because I'm looking at the glue marks. Oops, sorry, help if I had it in the right place. I'm looking at the glue marks here and here. So I'm assuming that would fit in with the station building. And I believe that would have been a set of scales. I think. I am seriously doubting that the other part of it is still around. There's a lot of random little bits in here, which is all nice. Yeah, but anyway, let's carry on. We've got the upper story. And yep, I'm seeing them. A couple of oops. There's the bits for the chimneys. Come on, in you go. Come on, in. There we are. Right, so I've got 3 platforms and I've got 2 ramps. Now, the layout that this was from, it was the second layout. I only had 2. So I had the first one, which was just on a bit of chipboard, I think, that was pulled out and laid on top of the dining room table. And then once my sisters started coming along, or came along, it would have been, yeah, my two sisters came along. We moved to a larger house, and I got a permanent layout was set up, and that's what this was from. We'll have to take that off a sec. I'm pretty sure this went straight on at this end, and then these three would have been, oops, I still can't connect the platforms together. In you go. Is that right? Would that have been too long? So we're not going to be able to get it all in shot, are we? If we move things, how can we do? Sort of. Ugh, yuck. All them bits. Yeah, that would be the right. I'm pretty sure that's the right way round, because I would have got the coach would have come in with a buffer, and I'm pretty sure there was room for the loco as well, and then the track came round to join up. It was actually a crossover, as it formed part of the goods yard. Sorry, from this side. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, loco in there, and then the turnout would have been here to follow round there into a second turnout to form a crossover to bring it back in front. Okay, and it looks like inside here as well. Can we get a? It's a bit mangy. We've got some telegraph poles. We've got a little footbridge. That must be off of a what do you call it? Signal box, I'd imagine. We have, I don't know, is that an attempt at a wooden pallet? Homemade wooden pallet? Or is it some fencing? It looks like glue on the bottom. Do you think that's some, would that be palisade fencing? They call it just wooden fencing with the three bits made out of matchsticks. What have we got? We've got a little, I can't remember what these were called. But yeah, it would have had it's like a little baggage train thing. It had a little cart that went on the back. And I'm looking at the glue marks, because we do have, hey, there's even still a person sat on this bench. We do have some benches. And I'm pretty sure those benches go one there, and then there should be a second. Ah, yeah, there is a second one, but it's a double-sided one, so that would be there, I guess. No, hang on. No, that bench must be wrong, because I've got a second one of those. So what do I reckon? One there, and then this one would have been up. There's not room for it there. Maybe it was right up the far end. Can't really see, well, just about see him right up the far end there. We've got someone. And then there's a load of packing cases. Another guff. We've got a little wheelbarrow, various aminals. Oops. This sheep's still got the grass it was standing on. Oops, sorry, I just bashed the camera there. Yeah, quite a few sheep, including a little lamb. Plenty of people, some little kids there. Oh, I've got two water things. Ah, and there's the little red, like the filler pipe. So there's one there, there's a second one. So one of these I'm pretty sure was at this end of the platform. Which presumably would have been for the the bay platform and anything coming in. Oops, sorry. I need to stop knocking that. Right, so yeah, we've got station, horses, loads of figures. Pretty nice. So let's get that packed very quickly. Right, I think that's in neater than it was when I first took it out. There we go. Lovely. Okay, and that wraps it up for this video. So, next time we'll be going through some items that don't have any boxes, including the stock from my very first train set. So until then, have a good one.